Hi, Grandma Debbie here. All right, so I've been talking a lot about picnics lately on my YouTube channel and to my husband and anybody else who wants to listen. And I really enjoy a good picnic. I love going to the park and relaxing, reading a book, playing some games, walking around, exploring. I love all that. It's a lot of fun. I love doing it with friends and family, or even if it's just my husband and myself. I just enjoy it. Well, we're 113 here. That's a little warm to be outside having a picnic. At least it is to me. I can't handle the heat anymore. So I'm doing an indoor picnic, and I'm going to bring you along with me. Now, there's a couple things that we're going to be making for this. We're going to be making a strawberry pie. We're going to be making a spaghetti salad, and we're going to be making sandwiches. And I think it's going to be great. So once again, I'm going to bring you along with me. Let's get going. Okay, so the first thing we need a deep dish pie dish. Pie crust. Now I'm just using the store-bought brand. I'm not making one. I could have, but I chose not to. So I'm just going to use a store brand. Or an already made one, not a store brand. Let me rephrase what I'm trying to say here. All right, so we're going to follow the package directions. Now the top one had a little bit of an accident. I believe it was caused by me. Oops. So I'm just going to put it back in the package and not use it right now. So instead I'm going to bring out the bottom one. Put this one back in here. All right. So according to the package directions, I need to let this thaw for about 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. And then we're going to prick the bottom and cook it at 400 degrees for 11 to 14 minutes until it's lightly browned, and then we're going to cool it completely. So this is going to take some time to make, but what I'm doing right now is I'm just pulling off the little paper thing, and we're just going to let this sit here. I'm going to set my timer. It's been sitting out already because I was pulling everything out for it, so it has sat for a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead and let it sit a little bit longer. I'm going to set my timer, then get it in the oven, and I'll show you what we do afterwards. Okay, so this has been sitting out for 10 minutes. It's thawed pretty good. So I'm just going to poke a bunch of holes in it. And I'm just using a fork to do this. And I'm preheating my oven to 450 or 400. So once it's preheated, this is going to go into the oven for 11 to 14 minutes, just until it's nice and golden brown. All right, so I'm going to get going on that. And then once it's done, we will go on to the next phase. Okay, so the pie shell is cooked. And so now all I'm going to do is let it sit here until it cools. And then we're going to go on with the next part of the pie. So we're going to get going on that. All right, so we'll be back here soon. Okay, so pie crust is cooled. We're on to the next step. What we're going to do is we're going to slice up our strawberries. You're wanting about 2 cartons or 2 pints, however your strawberries, whatever type of container they come in. So which is roughly about 24, 28 ounces of strawberries, somewhere around there. So you're just going to slice them. This is a great summertime recipe. always add more strawberries if you think you need them. All right, we've got the strawberries done. So on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the next step. So we're going to put all of our other ingredients into a saucepan. So we're going to start off with a cup of sugar. And then we're going to add in 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. A teaspoon of red food coloring. I'm not going to measure out the food coloring. I'm just going to add a little bit. I'm just going to add it to the end of a knife. A little bit more. Okay. 16 ounces, of 7-Up. Now, I'm using the regular 7-Up. I'm not using Diet or Zero or anything like that. And then we're going to be eventually adding Jello. And this is the kind I'm using. I'm using strawberry Jello. So I'm going to go ahead and get it opened so that it's ready to go when we're ready to go. All right. Okay, so I'm going to add the 7-Up. And then we're going to start heating it on, we're going to bring it just to a boil. And then we're going to boil it for 3 minutes or cook it for 3 minutes. Okay. Oops. We're going to cook this. We're going to bring it to a boil. So I just want to get this all mixed up. I might add a little more food coloring because I don't think it's as red as it should be. I guess it's getting a little brighter. Oh yeah, it's getting a little brighter. You see that? You see the change? Oh yeah, this is looking good. All right, we're just going to let it sit here until it comes to a boil. And then we're going to boil it for 3 minutes. All right, it's come to a boil. So I'm going to set a timer and we'll boil it for 3 minutes. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes. So now we're just going to add our Jello. And we're just going to stir until it's all dissolved. You can also use a whisk. I did get out a whisk for just in case I needed to. Isn't that a pretty color? All right, I'm going to turn the heat off. And we're going to let this cool for a moment, and then we're going to move on to the next phase. Okay, so it's cooled a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and add our strawberries. We're going to get them all mixed up in here so that they all have some juice on them, some of the liquid. Not looking pretty. Okay. All right, now we're just going to pour it into our cooled pie pan. Move this over. Okay. Whoa. For a deep dish pie pan, I'm spilling all over the place. That's okay. Let me get a paper towel. So we have a little bit of extra. That's okay. I'm going to let it cool and enjoy it with some Cool Whip. All right. So I'm going to let this sit for a moment, and then I'm going to get it into the refrigerator so it can cool, and it needs to cool for several hours. Okay. So I will bring you back when it's time. Okay. So in our indoor picnic, the next recipe that we're going to do is a spaghetti salad. Now, this recipe was one that I actually found while watching a vintage cooking show, and it's from Betty Crocker, and I thought it was in my cookbook, but it was not, so I had to go and search for it on the Betty Crocker website. And so it's a pretty simple recipe, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So we're going to get going on it, and I'm going to bring you along. So recipe number 2. Okay, so the recipe calls for 2 cups of mixed vegetables that you want to cook with the noodles. So I don't have mixed vegetables, so I'm going to do just what I have. I have corn, so I'm going to do a cup of corn. And then I have peas and carrots. So I'm going to do a cup of peas and carrots. I didn't even think about getting any mixed vegetables. I knew it called for it, but I, for some reason, thought I had it. I did not. So that's okay. We'll just improvise. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so we got our peas and carrots ready and our corn. Okay, so while we're doing that, while we're getting the water ready, we're going to go ahead and do all the rest of the stuff. Let's see. All right, so what I actually might do is wait, because you have to cool the spaghetti. So, all right, so I'll bring you back in a moment. Okay, so the water's boiling, and now I'm going to add the spaghettis. Now I'm using thin noodles, but you can use whatever size you want. It didn't really specify. Now, the trick though here is that you're going to break it into thirds. So I'm going to break a little there, and there. Now I'm going to cook this for, I want it al dente, so normally I would only cook it for 8 minutes, which is still what I'm going to do. I got noodles going all over the place. Don't you hate it when you get those little ones? But at the 4-minute mark, I'm going to add in the vegetables. Getting towards the end of my spaghetti here. All right, that's about enough. You're only using 7 ounces. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and set a timer for 8 minutes to cook this, and then I'll add the vegetables at the 4-minute mark. Okay, so we got about 4 minutes left, so I'm going to go ahead and add in the veggies so that they can continue on cooking with the noodles. And then after this is all done, I'm going to drain it, wash it, rinse it off with cold water, and let it sit until it cools off completely. Okay, so the pasta is done, and the veggies are done. So they are sitting in the strainer in the sink, cooling off. And so we're going to get started on the rest of the stuff. So we're going to chop a red onion. Now you're not using the whole red onion, you're only going to use a portion of it because you only need a 1/4 cup of red onion. So let me move this off to the side. Oops, I'm just going to make all kinds of noise. All right, so to chop it, I'm going to be using this that I got from Pampered Chef a while back. All right, that looks like a 1/4 cup. Very fragrant red onion. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this other part. All right, I'm going to clean this up, and I'll be right back after I clean it up. I do want to try and get this off. Okay, so to the red onion, we're going to add in 1 tomato. And you're just going to chop this tomato up into little pieces. Now the nice part about this salad is that you can make it ahead of time and leave it in the refrigerator until you're ready to serve it. All right, let me clean this up and wash my hands. Okay, whew. It's a little warm today and a little humid. All right, so the next thing we're going to add is Italian dressing, salad dressing. I'm using this brand, but you can use whatever brand you happen to want to use. This was the cheapest at the grocery store, and I'm all about saving some money. So that's why we're using this brand, not for any other particular reason. So you're going to use you're going to use a half a cup of this. Okay. You're just going to pour this in. All right, and then now we're going to add our pasta and veggies. And they have cooled off nicely, so it smells really good. And you just want to make for sure that it is all mixed up. And then we're going to cover this, put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours till it's time to serve and time to eat it. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get it, saran wrap over it, get it in the refrigerator. All right, so the final recipe that we're going to make hoagie sandwiches. We've got a couple of different deli meats. We've got some different cheeses that we can use, and they're going to be delicious. And the nice part about making sandwiches is that you can wrap them up and take them to the park or wherever. But since we're doing an indoor picnic, we're going to be doing it in the house. All right, we're going to bring you along for it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut our roll. Whoops. Now you can buy the rolls that already are sliced. That's up to you. So however you want to do this. Like I said, it's completely up to you. We were just at the grocery store and we love their bread, so we bought it without it being sliced. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of mustard. And on the other side, I'm going to add Mayonnaise. Once again, whatever condiments you want to use is completely 100% up to you. If you don't like mustard and mayonnaise, then use whatever you like. If you prefer, I don't know, a dressing of some sort, or Miracle Whip, it's up to you. However you want to do it. All right. And for the lunch meat, we're using ham and turkey. Once again, you can use whatever you want. You can get chicken. You can do whatever you want to do. All right, so we got that done. And I'm going to start off with the honey turkey. And the brand that you use is also completely up to you. Use whatever brand you normally use. This is what we normally use, so that's what I'm sticking with, which is the Land O'Lakes. Or, I'm sorry, Land O'Frost. I'm thinking butter. And use as much or as little as you want. All right, now we're going to do the ham. We're doing smoked ham. I like the thinner meats because it's just easier sometimes when you're making a sandwich with multiple different types of meat. Okay, got that done. And then I'm gonna add cheese. I'm gonna use two kinds of cheese. I'm using American, just your normal sliced cheese. And then I'm gonna use Swiss cheese. Once again, you can use whatever kind of cheese you want to use. It's completely 100% up to you. And I should have cut this all the way through, and I did not. All right. Now you can also put lettuce and tomato on here if you want, but I'm not going to do that. So here we go. Here's our sandwich. Now we're ready for dinner. Okay, I don't know if anything was recording at that moment or not, but we've got our spaghetti salad and our rolls. We got our pie ready to go. I'm going to put some Cool Whip on it, and we're going to sit down and enjoy our meal. All right, so it's looking good. So I just want to thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I hope that you are having an amazing day and everything's going great. Try these recipes. Try an indoor picnic. Why not? I mean, normally I would probably have us sitting on the floor or something with a blanket, but yeah, we've reached the age where we're not getting on the floor for any reason unless we fall. Let's hope that never happens. All right, so once again, hit the like, hit the share, and hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.